there, very warm welcome. You're watching the weekly edition of Your Trades. This is Priyanka Uppal. What a week it was. In fact, Nifty saw the 11th consecutive day of gains, and that's the data what we have seen way back more than 20 years. This is the longest streak that we have seen. In fact, today also we saw fresh record levels. We closed above 25,300 levels. In this whole month, Nifty gained nearly 4% for this August month series. And this is a straight third series advancement. Bajaj Twins, some of the key stocks also we'll talk about, but the kind of move we saw in stocks in sectors like IT, they continued their bull run, and in fact they've surged up till 3.5% for this whole week. Broader markets, we saw some kind of pressure this whole week, but then they've not done that bad today, but a steady move came in the markets this whole week. Nifty was very steady. Bank Nifty saw a volatile move throughout the week, but then broader markets saw some kind of pressure, but the kind of rotation we saw, clearly the money moved to large cap, and hence we saw that the Nifty, the benchmark indices were scaling to new high, and they continued their bull run. 11th consecutive day that we saw the Nifty closing the daily gains, and that's the longest streak ever since 1993. This is the longest streak. Expiry moves we did saw for Bank Nifty, nearly a loss of 0.8% on the banking index for this week. Broader market did settle well today. However, there were volatile moves throughout the week for the broader market, but then a couple of counters where we saw steady moves, and in fact it was on the bulls were riding high on these stocks, especially stocks like Bajaj Twins. Nearly 8 to 9% of move what we saw in Bajaj stock, Bajaj Finance, Bajaj Finserv. This is all ahead of their arm, which has to list in early September. IT stocks, that was the hottest sector, not just in India, in fact globally also. The kind of move we have seen in growth stocks coming back in, that took even domestic IT stocks high. The key developments which happened throughout the day, many stocks, NBCC, that closed 15% higher. Moving on to some names from broader market, on NBCC on the bonus issue. In fact, Reliance AGM also saw move for the last consecutive historical data, if you have to believe, last 8 years. This year, Reliance on the day of the AGM, and in fact post the AGM, closed in green only, and because there was a bonus issue news. Couple of move coming in from the group stocks like Tata Group stock, wherein Tata Sons, they repaid around about 20,000 crore of their debt, and they have escaped their mandatory listing of Tata Sons. And we saw good surge coming in many of the Tata stocks also, Tata Elxsi, Tata Tech, even Tata Investment Holding. But then this week was clearly in the favor of IT, Pharma, even Nifty Reality. That also just the biggest weekly gain in over 2 months, majorly led by Prestige, Macrotech. Metals, let's talk about. They also advanced for second week. National Aluminium, Hindustan Cooper, they were the leading sectors today. But then now what lies ahead for the market? To help us navigate the direction in terms of fundamental as well as technical, we have two guests joining in. We have Rajesh Palviya, who would help us on the technical front, and we have Vinit Bolinjkar from Ventura to talk us about the fundamental of the company and which sector he thinks money is moving into. Welcome to both of you. First of all, I would like to understand on the technical front, Rajesh, tell us now we are approaching September series, and if you see the September, fairly a good series in August, what we saw, 4% of gain Nifty, and then consecutive 11 days of win for Nifty especially. How to approach September month now? Because what we have seen is for September month, if you see the seasonality data, 6 out of 10 times that September month has given negative return. But it has been a good month for IT space. What do you have to say on this?
Good afternoon, Priyanka. Good afternoon, everyone. So, looking at the rollover data, it's on the positive side. 77.50% rollover for the August series, which is higher than the last 3 month and 6 month average. But on the Bank Nifty, rollover data is on the lower side. But looking at the Nifty structure, we believe that this is the 11th consecutive day where we are seeing positive close. That clearly shows that there is a sustained buying action has been taken place in the market, and market has confidence to move further higher. So we looking at the technical structure, we believe that this momentum can extend further. The way broader market is participating in this up move, large cap space is also showing good strength, and sectorial rotation is also happening in this up move. So that clearly giving us confidence कि possible rally can extend to 25,400 to 500 kind, 25,400 500 kind of zone in the continuation of this up move. At this juncture, 25,000 is having major put based concentration. So I think one should trail their stop loss towards 25,000, 25,100 to hold long position, and possible rally can extend to 24,400 to 500. For this September series, we expect a range for September series for Nifty is 24,800 on the downside, and on the higher side 25,600. This could be the possible range for Nifty. For Bank Nifty, the immediate supply zone which is placed is around 25,500. 51,500, which is a very important level to cross on the higher side. If Bank Nifty at all crosses 51,500, then possibly we may see a short covering action in Bank Nifty, and then rally can extend to 52,000 also. Rollover data is also showing some bit of stock specific rollover action in the banking space is giving us some sign that there could be short covering action in coming week for Bank Nifty is lined up, and I think we may see a further higher level. So for Bank Nifty also we have bullish view. 51,000 is your stop loss to hold long position. On the sectors front, the rollover action is clearly showing on the pharma, metal, oil and gas. These all sectors are showing good traction in terms of rollover activity. So we believe that support buying action may continue from pharma, auto, metal, oil and gas, and FMCG. These all space can continue furthermore bullishness in the September series.
We are in for higher levels as far as September month is concerned. In fact, Bank Nifty also you shared a positive view. Stay with us, Rajesh. We'll understand more from you on the front of spaces and sectors and stock specific. But we have Vinit also with us. Vinit, tell us how did you map the market this week? But then clearly, is the money moving to large caps? That's how the movement in index has been captured. Index benchmarks were higher. Broader market was in pressure this week. They didn't do that well, but the large caps, it was an outstanding week for them.
If you see the performance of the market, definitely the money is moving into the large caps. And, there are some about 1,000 stocks where the leverage has to come off by the end of September. So, where the buying at the brokerage's end is on the leverage side, I think those stocks will take a hit. And, primarily that leverage is coming from defense, railway stocks, and the typical bulls of the, extravagant bulls of the previous few months. If you look at Bajaj Finance, you'll see that when you list the housing finance company, what remains is an entire consumer piece. And if I were just to give you data that close to 50,000 crore rupees is going to be doled out by the government only to the women, right? And there are similar across all states and center, and there is going to be a similar kind of amount rolled out to the youth and the men, right? So you're going to see this kind of fund flow getting spent. Where will it get spent? It is obviously going to get spent on beauty products, garments, and on consumer durables. Already, outsourcing guys are talking of 40% growth in ACs, for example. And who's going to finance this? So 2 out of 3 loans are financed by Bajaj Finance. So I believe that Bajaj Finance is in a very sweet spot. And I will not be surprised if this stock, doubles in 2 years. What we would only be looking for is whether the credit costs, the company can guide and say that the worst is over.
Okay, this is the same stock where people some quarters back were also talking maybe the growth is getting retested or there's a mean reversion happening, but then Bajaj Finance is likely to get doubled in a few months from here. That's what Vinit has to believe. Vinit, I'll speak to you even on a fintech stock in a couple of while, but then we stay for a short break here. More to come on the other side of the show. Don't go anywhere. welcome back. You're watching Your Trades. We have Rajesh Palviya and Vinit Bolinjkar in our weekly wrap of Your Trades. Rajesh, very quickly, since we spoke about the levels for the September month, do tell us now what to expect from FI's participation now. DIs have lent a resilient, they have lent a good support up till now, but now FIs have also turned positive. If you look at the data, FI's long in index future at the start of the September series, that looks very promising, nearly 70%. What do you have to say on this? Which sectors do you think money is moving?
So clearly now FIs have turned bullish, and we are seeing that positive data since last couple of days for the FI, and I think this sustained buying action, if it continues, so I think we may see furthermore higher level for the market. I think the flow is coming to the pharma as well as in the IT sector. The way these both sectors have moved up in last couple of days, and clearly sustained buying action is taken place in pharma as well as in IT space. So I think we may see good traction in these both the sector. And I think as we discussed earlier also for large cap IT as well as for the mid cap IT, I think here we can see furthermore, upward momentum. So from large cap IT, I think TCS and Infosys could be looked at for, near term to short term trade perspective. These two stocks are looking promising. And from mid cap IT, we believe that, LTTS can be a one stock where we can see a good traction. And another stock that we like is Birlasoft. These two stocks are looking bullish from the mid-cap IT space. Even from the pharma space, a lot many stocks are, now inching further higher. Lupin is our preferred choice from the pharma space, and we believe that we can see furthermore upside the momentum in Lupin. So one can look this stock also from the pharma space, and possible really can extend to 2350, 2400 kind of level for Lupin. And another stock from pharma space is Sun Pharma. That stock is also looking promising. So we are projecting target towards 1950 for Sun Pharma. So one can look to buy and accumulate this stock also for short-term trading perspective.
All right, so IT and pharma, these two sectors are on the radar, and Rajesh has shared some interesting recommendations also. We need to tell us about a stock which did wonders today also, nearly 7-8% up. We're talking about Paytm, and the kind of moves that we've seen it from the levels of 350, and now with more and more good news coming in for the stock. They've got a license for now payment services, which means they can even apply for a aggregator license. They can now focus on their core business. Brokerages are turning bullish. You also have a very bullish target on Paytm. What is your rationale? What has made you turn so bullish on the stock?
Even last year, and the performance was for FY24 was very good. That time the price used to be around 800 900 bucks. Now after RBI stricture, the distress value went to as low as 350. But if you see, nothing changed in the business other than the fact that the Paytm bank was taken away from them, and the management managed to keep their flock of 4 crore merchants on board with them. They discontinued a few businesses which could possibly be find friction with RBI, although did not have the necessity to do that. And despite shutting down of these businesses, the merchant business continued to do well. The UPI business did well, and the marketing services also did well. Now, marketing services are going out because they sold it to Zomato. Despite that, over the next 3 years, we expect that they should grow by 20%. So, that's a very, very big number on the 24 number. And even if you talk about the loan origination fees that they get, we expect the pool of, funds raised as loans going up by 4x in the next 3 years. And we see the merchant business commissions growing by almost double in the next 3 years. So what we anticipate is that the EBITDA positive, the company will become in Q4 again. And, we don't see any more regulatory hit happen. Whatever had to happen has happened. And now we are going to see the prices start moving up. But even today, when the stock is up 12%, it is still below those levels of 800, which are in the business as usual conditions. So, I still think the stock is underpriced. and hence are rational for having a stiff target.
So EBITDA turns positive from the Q4 only, and then of course the regulatory overhang that is done, and the platform offers the kind of services that you spoke about that will turn bullish. And 621 we are nearly, and we have a target of nearly 1175. All right, we get you. Rajesh, tell us now what would be a specific recommendation. Though you spoke about many of the stocks from IT as well as pharma, any specific trades that you would be eyeing for this whole week for our viewers?
Definitely. So first stock is from the pharma space, that is Ajanta Pharma, mid-cap pharma space, and the stock managed to give breakout of pole and flag formation on a daily chart. And the way stock has given a breakout with the volume action, we believe that here we could see further more run up towards 3360. So one can buy Ajanta Pharma with stop loss of 3185. Another stock is from a chemical agrochemical space, that is UPL. There was a long underperformance in the stock prices, but now the way stock has formed a base, and if we analyze on the monthly, weekly chart, stock managed to break out, and now stock is sustaining about all its near-term, short-term moving average. We believe that UPL may extend its gain. We are projecting target towards 620 with stop loss of 592. And the third stock, that is from the banking space and the large cap private bank, that is ICICI Bank, is looking promising. The way stock has moved up in last couple of weeks, and now stock is comfortably holding about 1200 mark. We believe that this is the third consecutive week where stock is forming higher high low formation. That clearly shows sustained buying action is taken place in this stock. So we believe that ICICI may extend its gain, and possibly stock may attempt to again move back to the all-time high trajectory. We are projecting target towards 1270 for ICICI Bank with stop loss of 1205.
So the banking heavyweight, ICICI Bank has made it to your radar, as well as there are a couple of pharma and IT names that you've recommended today. Thanks very much, Rajesh, for giving your time. Thanks very much, Vinit, for giving us your time and sharing all those insights for our viewers. Let's move on. Rajesh was talking about pharma space, that he could see more money coming in, more move coming in pharma space. Now, pharma stocks have been on a winning streak and posting gains for the past 3 months. But will this upward trend continue? Let's listen into what these street experts have to say on this.
In terms of a pharma, we believe the formulation companies, the contract manufacturing companies, and looking at the demand from the US side, where services are still a key, and even pharma is still a key, we think that will keep on growing. So taking that into account, we believe the pharma space, along with hospitals, makes overall healthcare a quite a lucrative bet.
Pharma companies are really compounding machines. I mean, they have done extremely well. So I would say that yes, domestic pharma it's like a branded consumer company, and some of these companies have done extremely well. As far as the global facing companies are concerned, it's difficult to call out generic cycles. So my preference is to bet on companies which are growing their specialty business. So that's where the moat is created. That's where the multi-year visibility and fat margins are created. So I would want to bet on, for global markets, companies which are creating these products which will have fat moats and fat margins.
The reason we like Newland is because they had done all the hard work from a long-term perspective to build those capabilities, to build the credibility, to get in the customers, to get in the product. And then it's just a question of those flowing through over a period of time, right? Since we invested, we've seen that pipeline continue to grow. You never have the comfort on a given molecule whether it will succeed or not. But when you have a portfolio of such molecules, then you know that some of these will succeed. And even the ones that don't succeed, the company is taking zero risk on that. You can enjoy sort of decent margins on this business. And as this contract research part of the business has grown over time, the company's fundamentals have improved significantly.
Risk reward tells you that there are various pockets in the market that could do well. NBFCs being one, ITC probably being one of the bigger stories, some of the metal stocks, some of the pharma companies like Dr. Reddy's, Cipla, Sun Pharma. I think this is where our focus area is.
All right, well, with this is a wrap on this weekly edition of Your Trades. Thanks very much for watching. Stay tuned for more updates.